Welcome to the program. What does this all mean exactly, and how far-reaching will it be?
Yeah, definitely. The Digital Services Act can be described as a basic law for the digital age. So it can be called such a constitutional law in that it explicitly regulates the big internet platforms in legal terms for the first time in the European Union. And this has become increasingly important, especially in recent years. So on the one hand, we are talking about the market power of these providers. And on the other hand, we are talking about an enormous increase in online crime, disinformation, and hate speech, especially in the recent years, especially since the war in Russia, Ukraine began, and especially since the corona pandemic began. And the fact is that many large corporations have done too little to combat this in the recent years, since controversial opinions, information in particular, also increased traffic on their websites. And with that increased traffic, they also have a higher revenue for the service providers. So this is exactly where the Digital Services Act comes in, by first regulating the largest providers and imposing comprehensive obligations on them.
And so how exactly will it be safer for us, for users?
Yeah, so there will be an extensive legal framework, and the obligations of the Digital Services Act go far beyond what we have known so far in the area of platform regulation. So that means the DSA contains a large number of regulations for providers of services on the network, and the core of the legislation is a graduated catalog of obligations that basically follows the principle that the larger the service, the greater the obligations for operators are. And that means that services with more than 45 million users in the European Union are considered particularly large, and as a result, they are not the responsibility of national supervisory authorities anymore, but of the European Commission. And that's a big change. And with that, the Digital Service Act stipulates, for example, that platform operators regulate illegal content promptly after becoming aware of it. No arbitrary decisions may be made with regard to this. And in addition, these are also obligations for transparency. There are also obligations for user information, and risk assessments must be newly made as to the extent to which content could also endanger, for example, reasons of public safety, or could endanger public opinion polls.
And does it stop bullying online, harassment, defamation? I mean, this is something that journalists are very regularly, regularly experience.
Yeah,
And
this
so
is
many other
also
people,
something.
excuse me, not just journalists, of course.
Yeah, this is also something we are experiencing as researchers. And in my opinion, in the long term, the Digital Service Act broad scope of application will bring about significant changes regarding this as well, and not only for the big platform operators, but also, for example, for online retailers who will no longer be able to control their users' behavior by means of dark patterns. And I personally consider the Digital Service Act to be an overdue step, and it is to be welcomed that the European Union has succeeded in reaching a workable agreement on this really highly controversial, discussed political issue, and implementing it in a timely manner. And the DSA will certainly not be the last digital regulation of its kind, and will also have a spillover effect on many other countries around the world, as we are currently seeing in other areas of European digital regulation, for example, such as cybersecurity or such as data privacy regulation in the European Union.
Dennis, thank you very much indeed. Dennis-Kenji Kipker speaking to us there from Germany. Thank you.